spot off, Ross Chastain makes contact and turns Denny Hamlin in turn 4 while battling inside the top 5 with 14 laps to go, and Denny says,
as a driver, you make decisions. Eventually, you have to pay for those decisions you make. Freddie, spot on, spot off.
Well,
Denny's perfect.
Denny's great. Denny's perfect. This is another stop on the Ross Chastain don't give a tour. And I think we've seen this twice yesterday, numerous times through the week. The one thing I'm happy for, we didn't get a bullshit apology out of him this week of I'm really sorry. It's kind of, it's just, it seems like it's every week. And we say eventually somebody's going to give it back to him, and they don't. He comes out smelling like a rose again, finishes second. But this one here, in my opinion, I'm not a race car driver, but I've watched a lot of races in my time, was pretty easily avoidable. His excuse after the race was, I just overestimated how much grip I had. Well, you've also got a gas pedal. Like if you see you've already drove into the middle of 3 and 4 and you're kind of creeping up the hill, you're losing grip, obviously. The car's getting tight, you're losing the nose. You could lift or at least get out of it and try to stay off the guy, but instead you just kind of stay in there and turn the guy in front of the whole field.
That's way less exciting, just so you know.
It is what it is, and it just seems like week in and week out, this guy's doing everything he can to hurt his chances for winning a championship.
I'm spot on. Not that
spot on to Rick and Denny, or
no, just in general, because this just adds to it, man. We saw Gateway. Denny was 1 lap away from getting Ross parked, which would have been I will say that would have been awesome if he accomplished that. But it's exciting. It's I've been involved in plenty of scenarios with drivers in the past. We were usually in this position, and it's a lot of fun to watch when it's someone else. So I'm spot on for the rivalry that's kind of brewing right here. And
so are you spot on for him wrecking Truex earlier in the race too?
I'm spot on for the aggressive driving, creating these type of moments that give us something to talk about.
I thought you hate wrecking race cars.
Martin came back and almost won the race.
You say all the time, I hate seeing
Martin
race
didn't
cars
wreck.
get wrecked.
Martin came back and almost won.
He could have,
but he didn't.
He could have flipped.
Yeah, you could also get a flat tire in this parking lot, but you won't. You'll be.
I better not get a flat tire. Your battery could die in this parking lot.
You'll be getting a ride home with that battery. You better hope so.
I'm spot off for this, and this is going to be a little bit of a rant, and I apologize for that. But Ross Chastain wrecked Denny Hamlin. Ross Chastain, after he wrecked Denny Hamlin, he hit Denny Hamlin. Ross Chastain, after he hit Denny Hamlin, he had to slow down. And after all this was said and done, NASCAR, under caution, put Ross Chastain all the way back up in the same position he was running in before he wrecked Denny Hamlin. So he caused the wreck. He was in the wreck. He slowed down as a result of the wreck. He did not maintain, quote, race speed. And then NASCAR let him drive by 4 or 5 guys that were not in the wreck and put them back in front of him.
Because one of those was your car.
Because it's a discretionary call on their part. And I just don't understand, for the life of me, how you have all this technology and all these replays and all these things in place, SMT data, you got it all, and you literally let this guy cause the wreck, be in the wreck, slow down for the wreck, and then put him back as an original running order. That's what I do not understand for the life of me. So yeah. I'm spot off for that part of it. The wreck itself, it's time for Denny to shut up and do something about it. He has been talking about it, and I know what he may be waiting on, which is, if I were him, it would be
a smart play.
The playoff. It wouldn't be right now. But now the scoreboard is 2 to Ross Chastain and 0 to Denny Hamlin. So I know what Carl Edwards did to Brad Keselowski. And I thought that wreck with Brad Keselowski and Carl Edwards back in the day was racing. I didn't think it was a wreck that warranted Carl wrecking Brad on purpose. But now we're in a position where it's Denny's turn. What are you going to do?
You think it's Denny's turn, but it might not be.
It might be 3-0. We
thought it was Denny's turn after the last one. I just like Ross, in my opinion, is maybe arguably the most consistent fast car. Like, and you look up front every week, he's there. You know what I mean? And easily on speed, he would be easily one of my Final Four picks. But I would not bet a single dollar on that because we're not allowed for one. But 2, like, you just got to assume that nobody's going to let this happen right now. There's a line of people that would like to wreck Ross Chastain. Like, you cannot you could not pick him to be the Final Four because of just how many enemies he's made just over the last 2 months.
Okay, well, we're going to stay on the topic of Ross Chastain. Contact between Martin Truex and Chastain in turn 2 triggers a big wreck. Austin Dillon gets collected and says, just looks like we're another casualty of Ross Chastain again.
TJ, you just said that no cars were wrecked when he hit Martin.
No, I said Martin didn't wreck.
Oh.
No, I saw Austin.
You were okay with that wreck.
No, Austin hit hard. And I mean, did you see him hit?
I saw the picture of the softball.
Gosh, man. I saw the 3 hit the wall and I was like, oh, that had to hurt. So, yeah, spot off for that, cars getting wrecked, that guy wrecking hard. Definitely another casualty of that style of racing, and that seems to be a repeat offender.
Yeah, I thought this was... It's still 100% Ross's fault. Still 100% unnecessary. It was less egregious than what he did to Denny. This was just an overly aggressive push.
Yeah,
in the turn 1, in the middle of the corner, entry to middle. He never got off of them until they were wrecking. So it's unnecessary at lap 92 of 260, whatever it was. It's just. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't think this was dirty. I just thought it was unnecessary and pretty stupid on Ross's part.
Chris Rice had just told me that you can't wreck these cars. I mean, literally, he had just got it out of his mouth. You cannot wreck these cars because in the stage 1, we were running about 12th, and we were kind of the last car-ish in that front group. And I said, look, man, we're not going to get a stage point. We're not going to pass 2 to 3 cars in a lap. Get out of here in case they wreck. And Chris Rice is like, they can't wreck these cars. Well, holy hell, did we wreck cars after that? I mean, Ross Chastain wrecked twice after that. But, no, I mean, look, it's if you were in person – at that race, I thought it was a great race to watch. I don't know how TV did with broadcast. I'm sure they did a great job. But Ross has got to stop wrecking people. I mean, how many is this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I watched the highlight of the Denny wreck, and Burton was kind of critical, which Burton would be one of the guys that is like, listen, you can't just keep doing this every week. Like, what is your end game here?
Sure,
like,
you can.
I mean, you can, but you just added another 5 or 6 guys to the list. There's 6 or 7 cars in that wreck. There's 5 more guys that are on the list of guys that are like, You turn the 19, but now in return of that, you've pissed a 3 off because he's the only one that really got wrecked in the deal. So now the 3's mad at him. It's just you just can't keep adding guys to the list of people that are pissed off at you. What happened with the 10? I seen the 10 was pissed off at him. I seen there was a good quote there from they said it was a driver, but I think it might have been the spotter. I can't really.
What was the food line thing? Okay, I missed the food line context.
I don't know.
TJ knows.
Let's go back and listen to the 10 car of Eric Almirola.
They told Ross that we were frustrated. Like, yeah, I felt he pushing us, but he's like, I'm just doing what I can, He's an idiot, and he knows it. Good for him. We'll be fine. He better hope I don't see him at food line.
That voice sounded familiar.
Wow.
I know you want to sell your home. Do it with our friends at OfferPad. Go get a cash offer right now at OfferPad.com.